Dragon's Battery. Lone Watchfalls, Rustwood. Finally back to adventuring. I didn't realize how long it took to just level up 2 fucking characters and equip them. An hour down the drain. I suppose the big problem is I have no real experience with the other class, so I don't really know what am I supposed to take. There were also some new options there. So I don't have a plan or a path clearly in front of me that I know how to follow and then produce something at least half decent.
All right then.
Blood. This wolf lies in the snow, panting with exhaustion and pain. An arrow has pierced its foreleg, jutting gruesomely from the animal's flank. Wolf growls softly as you approach, tail between its legs. It's afraid. I'm gonna sing a song to calm the wolf. You approach the wolf slowly, singing a low and lilting melody. The animal's ears flatten, but it stops growling. Gradually the wolf stills, though it still gazes up at you fearfully. Can I examine the wolf? The wolf appears to have crossed the hunter's path. A silver arrow has pierced the wolf's leg. The state of the fletching suggests the wolf tried to gnaw it up. I'm going to try to calm it further. Try to remove the arrow. Zahua moves forward to aid the animal. Their efforts to calm the wolf seem to have paid off, for the creature remains still, save for the occasional whimper. Zahua carefully removes the arrow and then binds the wound. Barely an instant after Zahua has finished, the wolf suddenly scrambles to its feet. It regards you with a few long moments, then sets off to the trees at a limping trot. Silver arrow added to the stash. Why a silver arrow? Probably a quest item. This tarnished silver arrow has survived its stay in a wolf's flank largely unscathed, though the carefully etched fletching has been gnawed on. Holding the arrow makes the hairs rise in the back of your hand. Okay. Well, at least we did something. There could be a payoff to that later on. Feral Druids, Winter Wolves. Right. So this is the area of attack.
Yes.
Can I disable him somehow? in any easy way. Alright. Maneha the Barbarian is fairly effective against these. Zahua also has no problems. But against opponents like these, it's not really a sign of anything. They're always too weak. Single hit caused 8 wounds. We should do extra fire damage. Right, 8.7 burn damage just from 8 wounds.
Gotcha.
It's very hard to get a good idea of how usable these builds are. They're not gonna be tested in a fight like that. We were missing a helmet. Immunity to stock, athletics and dexterity bonuses. Alright. Looks retarded, but it's still immunity to stock. Rusted wood crater. It's not a lake. Ice blight.
Leave it to me.
Greater ice blight. Immune, immune, immune. Immune to blunt. Immune to cold, so Zahua can't injure them, but he will start doing fire damage now. Right.
That didn't work.
All right then.
Right then. Should be some kind of a pond somewhere. Ice beetles.
What? Hey.
Okay, do something. anything. Right. The barbarian and the wizard in combination can get rid of their small sprite very easily. Very resistant against slashing, weak against tap, corrosion. Still nothing special.
Of course.
Well, the major problem probably with those is that they just don't have the levels. It makes a massive difference. A tot of grey-white fur has snagged on this Rambo. Minpagra, Bitter Spirit. Ah, these were incredibly annoying. They don't have real damage reduction though. I really just need to interrupt them a little.
Yes.
Mune, and everything's...
All right then.
The simple shrine is covered in a thick layer of snow, fallen leaves and feathers. A pair of curving bones flank the altar. Examine. The shrine does not appear to be frequented very often, though traces of old candle wax line the edges of the stone. Under a dusting of frost, you note a rectangular section of the altar's surface that seems to be cleaner than the rest, as if something once rested there. Rectangular, right. Durgan's Battery. Woodcutter's Grove, Shrine of Galloway. Corpse. +3 movement speed. That's very good. Very good, especially in boss fights where you need to position your character. So thinking of giving it to the barbarian. More or less to ensure that she tends to be the one reaching the enemies first. She has terrible defenses, but she can deliver the damage. She also has a massive health pool, so we can keep healing her for a long time. I think she heals herself with the attacks too, so I'm not sure how much healing she'll need. Again, she just hasn't been tested. Hey levels. Vamro. This is pointless, beast. You won't get anywhere being stubborn. The ogre only snorts angrily and pulls back on the rope. Two other elves prod him somewhat timidly with their pole axes. The ogre does not budge. Why are they pole axes when they're written pole axes pretty much throughout the entire game? I mean, I don't mind it being one or the other, just pick one. Hey, Vamro! One of the elves has turned to look at you, motioning at the man occupied with the ogre. The elves turn to look at you, hands falling to their weapons. Vamro gives a final sharp yank on the rope before he turns as well. You're a long way from home. Oh, we'll be further from it still tomorrow. Just picking up some help along the way. It looks up at the ogre. Intellect 14. A rather sad specimen for an ogre. We're trying to be clever. It's not our way though. What are you doing with that ogre? This creature will accompany us to Westrand. We've had some trouble on the roads, but having an ogre along should put an end to it. I purchased him from some slave hunter not far from here, looking to recoup their expenses, I expect. He grunts. Not sure he's worth quite so much coin. Let's try the clever approach. Rather sad specimen for an ogre. He came cheap. We need the muscle. Gods know they're good for little else. Emerald gives the rope another tug. Ogre's already impressive scowl deepens. Ogre gives a great bellow and suddenly lunges backward, tearing the rope free of his captor's hands. A triumphant roar, the ogre pulls apart the bindings on his arms. Emerald glares at you. Look what you've done. Stop that ogre! But don't damage my property, and bring me that fool's head. What? I guess I was thinking of should we try to release the ogre or what? But apparently we were clever and now we're gonna kill everything. What a shame. We try to disable them a little bit. I'm not sure if I even want to disable them. I mean, what's the fucking point? They're worthless pieces of crap anyway. A little bit of disabling it isn't gonna make a difference here.
What the fuck?
That's pretty much it.
Spot on!
Saber. Bitter cut. Grants vile thorns, infestation of maggots. Minus 10 defense against poison attacks. It does corrode slash and slashing damage.
Of course.
Well, if we need money, always sell that crap. These stones are strangely warm to the touch, though most of the runes are indecipherable. A few look like names. So there will be slavers nearby.
Don't fear for me, Watcher. I may be large, but walking the coals has made me light on my feet.
Ah, there we are. As you walk toward the frozen pond, a figure appears through the mist. Kneeling down next to a hole on the ice, the figure picks up a large chest and throws it into the water without hesitation. The figure looks around. You glimpse a face you've seen before. Quetzalcoatl, one of Lapdah's acolytes, pulls a hood over his head and throws a leather bag over his shoulder. Without looking back, he walks away in the direction of the Stalwart village. Cloudy water is visible through a large hole cut through the thick ice. It is larger than a fishing hole, wider than a broadside omaha. Stirred, the surface of the water laps against the layered ice. You reach out to taste the water. It nips at your fingers with every ripple, quickly numbing your hand after a few seconds. So it should be what? Few degrees above freezing. That's like something you can probably realistically survive a minute or two. After that, you're so fucking numb. You're not gonna be swimming around anymore. So you can probably take a dip, but you have to get the fuck out of there very quickly. Probably need help, so if you want to get out of the pond after that. Look through the water at the far bottom. Let's inspect the area. You carefully inspect your surroundings. Animal tracks are plentiful, but what appears to be the footprints of Kith are also present near the hole. Looking closer into the hole, you notice a jagged ring of frost adhering to its walls. It has been rebroken, perhaps more than once. Look through the water to the bottom. The water is swirled, silty and nearly opaque. You attempt to see through the murk, but you can make out nothing in particular. That's a problem because we don't have a direct target to aim for, so whoever is going to have to stay there for a while. Probably a single dive per person at maximum. Who will dive in? Ooh, Bulwark against the elements. Cast Bulwark against the elements before diving in. Who will cast? You cast. Begin to draw energy out of the ether, funnel it into your grimoire until you feel the power flood outward from it, bathing you in a protective aura. You dip your hand into the water. You can feel its ripples climbing up your skin, but you notice no change in temperature, as if the water itself had become lukewarm. The cold, it seems, is no longer a threat. Uh, Maneha? I don't recall. Consider your options. Who has the best athletics? Maybe Maneha. She seems to be an ocean Amawa. Maneha dives into the water and disappears into the turbulent darkness. Its embrace, however, feels lukewarm and almost welcoming. Protected by the spell, Maneha manages to swim with ease to the bottom of the pond. Directly below the hole at the very bottom, Maneha's hands find heavy objects made of wood and metal. They are chests, small but heavy. Maneha starts to bring them up to the surface one by one, struggling to carry their weight through the water. After a heroic effort, Maneha comes out of the frozen pond. You let a few minutes pass to recover from the ordeal, and then you're ready to inspect your findings. The chests are marked with symbols of Andhra. You grab one of them and pry its lid open to reveal its contents. Inside, all you see are rocks. You shake the surprise off and grab another chest. The same results greet you after opening it. More rocks and nothing of value. Something is assuredly amiss. As proof of your findings, you take one of the empty chests with you. Treachery is afoot. So we don't necessarily have to explore this fully, but since we're here, we're still looking for the slaver. And considering the pathetic resistance so far, shouldn't be too troublesome. Greyjaw.
Hey, go! Zala is ready.
Elderbear calls. Trap accuracy plus 15. That's new. Journal page. Day 4. Took down another stag today. Still not enough hides to make this trip worth it. Day 6. Blizzard coming. Staying put until it passes. Day 9. Close call with a pair of ogres. Lucky they didn't see us. Day 11. Tracking a large bear that Nurin spotted from the ridge. Might even be Greyjaw. My grandfather told stories about him. Wouldn't that be something if we were the ones to finally kill him? Day 12. It's definitely Greyjaw. We're dangerously close to the ogre cavern, but we've got Greyjaw trapped and his hide is too valuable to pass up. The three of us should be able to handle one bear. Should. Enough camping supplies. We do need to deal with the ogre situation too fairly quickly, I think. I mean, it is fairly big problem for the town. However, it's more of a question which ogres are causing the problem in the first place. Is that already? Cannoneers, ogres.
Of course.
Wondering, should we try to learn more about the situation from somewhere else before just rushing in there? Flames that whisper. I suppose we have to. We're not gonna find out what's going on unless we talk with someone who has intimate knowledge about things here. There might be the guy north, the one who lives as a hermit, who might have some kind of an insight to what's going on. Dargul. Vampire Beguiler. Felissa. Gently with the fingers. They're the best part. I don't want... A slow smile creeps across her face as you approach. The other men and women turn to look at you, their mouths filthy with blood and gobbets of flesh. Well, hello there, handsome. What brings you to this part of Russet Wood? Looking for an ogre matron. Oh, how nice. She's staring at you intently now and doesn't appear to have heard your answer. My, you look absolutely mouth-watering, licks her lips. Rolling my eyes. She and her friends rush at you. Dargules are fairly weak, but Felissa, it looks like typical vampires, so I'm not sure if they're anything too dangerous. Still, I'm also not sure I want to really take too many chances with them. Now let's go a bit closer. Might be extra vampires incoming. Charred. Protections. Ugh. What the fuck are you doing? Protections against charmed and dominated.
I'm ready.
We could try petrification. It's an overkill. I don't think we care.
This is
Still quite a lot of vampires there after all.
Getting nowhere.
Petrification won't last long. We need to take advantage of this. And probably blast maybe a spell or two, but not too much.
This is. That didn't work.
Pretty much wrap things up here. Things special. Okay, equipment. Many of these frozen corpses are missing fingers or have had chunks of flesh cut out from their thighs and torsos. Mate, where exactly does this go? Nowhere.
Of course.
So listen. This cracked wooden stab is nearly buried beneath the frozen snow. To your senses, the gathered essence shines like a beacon. This camp is long abandoned, and what remains is buried beneath a layer of ice and snow. The stab seems to be the sole item of note. You reach out with your watcher's senses and feel this drifting soul surge forward as if eager to be heard. A feeling of fear and urgency ripples through you. Here, across the distance spanned by time and identity, you know only that you are out of time.
Did you think to escape me by climbing a mountain? I would have tracked you across the sea, thief.
Please, Master, have mercy. I kept the grimoire hidden safely away, and I can take you to it.
The book is nothing. If you had studied a little longer, you might have learned that. But no apprentice of mine will steal from me and live.
Wait, no!
So a hidden grimoire, I guess. You would think they are level 7 or 8
Something
spells.
over there.
Tattered map. This yellow piece of parchment shows a rough drawing of a cluster of trees, but little else. They could be anywhere in the White March. Tree, rocks, road, maybe, or rivers. It's not gonna be here. I think the person there, the master of that apprentice, was mentioned by the Lich too as one of the master wizards. Legivate Sidewinder. Sneak attack, piercing damage, blinding strike. Yeah, we're blinded. You fucking pieces of shit. No, don't move. This could be a at least half serious fight.
PoE.
Yeah, simply because of the numbers involved. Well, pretty much every attack spell here could be an overkill. Let's just keep buffing.
Try something else.
Ho 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 ho! She's getting annihilated. The Ice Trolls and Lagu Fates are both attacking her. 42 piercing damage. Her defense has been drastically reduced. You're gonna have to cover for her. Didn't have time. She's basically getting critted constantly. Plus 33 on the attack rolls. 50 points of damage, 50 points of damage, 50 points of damage. They're the Lagu Fate or Sidewinders are the ones who did all the damage. Please just look at that. Blinded, hobbled. It might have been something else. They're getting sneak attack bonuses because she's engaging the ice trolls. Yeah. She got her ass kicked. Well, I can easily revive her. We'll start again. Minus 15 to deflection.
Lead the way.
Yeah, this is something she did not need at the moment.
Hey.
I'm ready.
Hey.
We should be more careful in positioning. Especially with the reduced deflection, we cannot allow her to be the main target. She'll go down in seconds. The 300 endurance just doesn't matter.
Now this I haven't seen before.
I suppose we should rest. I need to see we're going to face a lot of those creatures soon. Level 10. Yeah, they're not exactly terrible. They're a little bit below us, but not by much. Wilder, right? That's what I wanted to know. You awaken and hear someone stirring, growling. Looking over, you see Maneha twitching and muttering in her sleep. You can't make out what she's saying, but from her bare teeth and the sheen of sweat on her brow, it seems like a very bad dream. I'll try to talk to her. She sits bolt upright, roaring and reaching for her weapon. Gonna step back. She swings her weapon in a broad sweeping stroke, just missing you. The effort, however, seems to have jolted her awake.
What? Oh,
Her gaze darts around but slowly focuses on you. She grimaces and looks away, wiping her face.
Oh, sorry. I must have been dreaming.
She lies back down and turns away from you. Yep. About what?
No, it's nothing. Sorry, I shouldn't have bothered you.
She pulls her blanket over her shoulders. You aren't bothering me, but something's clearly bothering you. I'd like to help. She's quiet for a long time. Seems like she's already gone back to sleep, but then she sighs.
You told me about your awakening.
Eater stirs. Maniha waits silently until Eater rolls over and resumes deep, steady breaths.
I guess I've had a similar problem. There's something I remember from a former life. Happened hundreds of years ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday.
How did you remember it?
Happened while I was fighting in Old Valia 20 years ago. My unit was camped out in the palace we'd just taken. The others were roasting the last of the Marcheso's pigs in the feast hall. So, I went to the wine cellars to fetch a few bottles.
She works her fingers into a knot.
I don't know how long she'd been hiding there, but there was this old woman. Must have been one of the servants.
Her fingers curl into fists.
She had this wild look in her eyes. I approached her and tried to tell her not to be afraid, that she was safe.
Maneha holds out her hand, reliving the memory.
She screamed and grabbed my arm. It felt like someone had hit me in the back of my head. I blacked out for a few minutes, and when I came to, she was gone. I took a few bottles up with me, feasted with the rest of the troops. But when I went to bunk, I had a dream. Only it was more vivid than any dream I've ever had. I tasted the sweat on my lips, felt the jungle air on my skin, heard the cries.
She stops and swallows, shaking her head. This dream, this was a memory?
Like when you hear a song you know you've heard before. Anyway, I laid off the drink for several days, but I kept having the dream. After a few weeks, I thought a change of scenery might do me good. Since then, I've been a pirate in the Deadfire, a pilgrim in the White that Wends, an adventurer in the Living Lands, and a gift bearer in a Shamadal.
He gives you a rueful smile. What's this memory?
It's something terrible I did, a long time ago, and as a different person. but I remember it more clearly than anything.
What's next then?
I told you I was looking for the Abbey of the Fallen Moon so I could leave something behind. There's a pool there, the Salt Well. It's where gift-bearers leave the heaviest burdens. It's said that a person can enter it and leave their own memories behind.
There's a distant, hungry look in her eyes. And you would leave this haunting memory in the salt well.
That's the plan.
But if you lose more than you intend,
At this point, I'd gladly give up all my memories if that's what it takes for peace in this life and the next.
hmm. I don't want to start talking to her too much right now. There's been so much talking and management recently, so I'd like to focus more on doing things. Ooh, looks like this could be slavers. We'll have to talk with these guys soon. I mean, they're fairly interesting characters to begin with, but if I don't know them, it's hard to basically predict how they'll react to things or make informed decisions about things that might affect them if I don't know anything. So I do need to talk to them.
Don't see many on these roads, and the few we do are hunters, woodcutters, or smugglers.
She cocks an eyebrow at you and gives you a half smile. She holds herself with confident grace, a conspicuous holster slung over her one hip. Behind her is a wagon loaded with supplies. Manacles dangle from one end. Which are you? Hunter, woodcutter, or a smuggler? The high clear pearls of her laughter ring across the snowy plain.
I suppose you could say I'm a hunter.
Her fingers drum the tooled leather of her holster.
I'm looking for a fugitive from Raid Saris, an indentured servant, and a wanted criminal.
The smile disappears from her face with like a candle flame snuffed out by the wind. She watches you through humorless eyes. You mean a slave?
It's allowed in Raid Saris, but this fellow, let's call him Ilith. He signed himself over, making him an indentured servant. Now that distinction isn't much heeded in the Deerwood. But as you may have noticed, we're barely in the Deerwood.
Her sly grin returns, and it's hardly more than a squint. What exactly is he wanted for?
Besides breaking his indenture, he slew his master's 13-year-old son, killed the boy before he fled.
Yeah, I heard that he blew his master's 13-year-old son. I was shocked there for a moment, but why would he kill the boy? Probably because the boy was being a little shit. He basically slew one of his oppressors. There's no telling how how the boy treated the slaves or servants. He belongs in a prison, not a slaver's pen.
His master sees it differently.
She unholsters her pistol.
Shame we couldn't do business.
Yep. Shame. Truly a shame. Okay, I think we need to split our attentions a little bit. I don't want to give the marksmen time to act like I've usually done.
Someone is ready.
Ooh, that is a problem.
Done.
I go after her. Okay, why aren't you going after anything? Ah, fuck's sakes. Fight then if you're not gonna do anything.
Gotta try something else.
I'm gonna ask him what happened. I'm willing to overlook a lot in this case. I mean, there's no chance he'll meet any kind of real justice if he's returned. He's just gonna be abused or just killed. And there's a high probability that the reason he killed the boy was already because he was abused. This carcass steams in the snowy chill to kill his reason. Yeah, we're still hunting the gigantic wolf. Maybe you need to find enough of those little clues before you can really find him. So you basically have to track him down instead of just going directly someplace on this map and he will be located there. We found something there. There's a recent kill, so that certainly seems like the likely place. Somewhere in this section of the map anyway. Warm up. I think we need this. We do need to attack with something.
Hey. Spot on.
cave. Right. So the ogre situation is gonna be... Am I going to leave it unsolved? I think I'll go after the wolf here. Try to get him, assuming the cave here isn't massive. Leave things at that. I'm guessing the ogre situation is potentially at least a bit more complex. Especially if the ogres there are not responsible for attacking the town. So one super wolf in an area that has been, let's say, a couple of levels below us. Yeah, this should not last long. Werewolf. I think might be the first werewolf. Druid wolf. Standing tall amongst the wolves inhabiting the cavern, this creature turns to face you as you venture forward. Scores of wounds and scars riddle its hide, and one dull eye stares out blindly from its skull. It growls a threat as you approach, one echoed by its fellows. You know this half-wolf for the spirit-shifted form of a druid, though you see no gleam of kith intelligence within its gaze. At the creature's feet lie two villagers, one heavily wounded. The other holds an arm across his stomach and looks up at you with pleading in his eyes.
Help! Please help us!
As the beast turns its head back toward the hunter, you sense a strange aura emanating from it. It is as if its hide were holding in a tempest of soul essence, fierce and all-consuming as a flame. Can you understand me? The creature snaps and snarls, evidently uncomprehending. It edges toward the nearest hunter, even as it watches you balefully with its single eye. Reach out for the beast's soul. It takes little effort before the beast's soul threatens to overwhelm you with its intensity. Wrath and hunger buffet you on all sides until you reach through the storm to find a smaller, dimmer pulse of light and are swept headlong into memory. The chill bites into your cheeks and your lungs burn a little from the run. You look down at the little wooden carving in your hand and run your thumb along the edge of the carved bare spine. The totem has already brought you luck. You found 2 rabbits in as many snares, and that's a rare enough feat these days. You're certain now that this was a gift from Galloway, that you were meant to find it on that lonely shrine and take it.
Soldier.
Your father's voice snaps you out of your reflections, and you rush forward to rejoin him beside the campfire. You brandish the hairs and catch a glimpse of a rare smile under his graying beard. But the smile disappears almost immediately as a shadow falls over you both. You feel the rush of wind a moment before the log comes crashing down and rolls out of the way just in time. You hear your father cry out in pain somewhere nearby. Both the hairs and the totem slip from your grasp. You can feel power surging within you. Your heart thunders in your chest, but instinct pulls your senses into order, and you feel the familiar stretch of limbs and sudden dizzying shift in height. But something is wrong. Your senses are fading rather than growing stronger. There's a howling in your head, like a screaming force, and everything in you shrieks for you to bite, to tear, to eat. The memory slips from you, and when you come back to yourself, the beast is shaking its head, as if to clear an itch, clawing at its ears. Saldron? The creature snaps and snarls, evidently uncomprehending. It edges toward the nearest hunter, even as it watches you carefully. I think it's going to kill the hunters anyway. Back away. As you draw back, one of the winter wolves suddenly leaps in front of the hunters, taking up defensive posture. By the way it favors its leg, you recognize the wolves you helped in the wilds. Right. I need to sell something just to start affording wages. Maybe we can save him. I tracked the wolf to its lair and must now confront it within. The wolf I found in the cavern bears more resemblance to a spirit shifter, though it appears incapable of communicating. My Watcher abilities granted me a vision from what appears to have been the druid's past. In the vision, a young man took a totem from a shrine of Gallowayne. His subsequent attempt to shift into his druid form seems to have resulted in him becoming trapped in that other's skin. Perhaps the totem has something to do with all this. It may still be at the old campsite where it was. But the wolf is probably protecting the hunters for now. So I guess if we wouldn't have helped the wolf, the hunters would have died because of that choice. It's going to be protecting them, giving us the time to resolve this through another means. Where was the hunters? There should not be
Does anyone
hostiles.
have any extra rations? I did some white leaf and now I'm very hungry.
Zahua is abusing drugs.
Something over there.
Hunter's totem. Quickly. There's no telling how long the wolf can protect the hunters, so... Crater is also a mystery. And we go swimming in there. Place the totem on the altar. As you set the totem back down on the shrine, the wind suddenly picks up, lifting powdery snow and leaves into the air. You hear the distant baying of hounds upon the breeze. The air grows thick with the scent and taste of copper and gunpowder. The bear's carvings' eyes seem to gleam, pinpoints of crimson against a sudden growing darkness. Lean shadows prowl against the backdrop of the stone altar, and for one timeless moment you feel as if you are being pulled away by a current of fear and ferocity, the thrill of chasing and the panic of being pursued. At last it releases you, and the shadows melt away under the moonlight. In the distance you hear a mournful howl. Not much we can do now except see what the hell happened. I still think this is probably our best effort to try to get some kind of a happy end result out of this, instead of some kind of a tragic result. But who knows? I'm wondering how the winter wolves are gonna react to things. This young man nearly vanishes within his tattered furs. Both man and hide are covered in patches of grime and dried blood. His head snaps up immediately as you enter, and you find yourself on the receiving end of a fearful one-eyed gaze.
What? What's happened? Who are you?
He reaches up to touch the skin around his blind eye, gingerly. Where are the other wolves?
They left. I thought they might attack me, but they ran from the cave. It was like they heard something. The hunters fled too, once the wolves were gone. I remember it in pieces. It's mostly darkness, but I could see. Sometimes. I think I heard someone. Wait. My father. Thiersch. Is he alive? Where is he?
He is injured, but alive.
Oh, merciful gods. I don't know what to say. What you must have seen of me.
He looks to the bones scattered across the cavern floor and cringes.
I remember the taste. How can I return home after all this?
You put one foot in front of the other, you'll arrive there sooner or later. Don't think about it. Zahua slaps Soldern hard across the face. Soldern looks at him with wide eyes, dumbstruck. Zahua shrugs. Usually works for me. He looks around at everyone. What? Soldern seems to shake off the hit. You were not yourself. You shouldn't take the blame.
Thank you. That is kind of you to say. I wish that it helped. Even so, perhaps I can make amends somehow. If I return. I will go home and beg my father's forgiveness. To you, I offer this. It is the dearest thing I own.
He lifts an amulet over his head and hands it to you. Ancestor pendant.
I will tell my father what you have done for me. If you mean to return to Stalwart, perhaps you will find me there.
Yay! Okay, is it any good? Grants Guardian Spirit on unconsciousness, +2 Constitution. PoE target, +20% splash damage taken for 30 seconds. Summons a Phantom. I don't get it. On unconsciousness too. Huh. Probably not gonna use it.
Slowly now.
We're gonna spot something. Wand, two-handed. 10% chance to cast combusting wounds on hit or critical hit. That would be better than what we have currently in our wand. It does raw damage, but I sort of hate it because it also causes temporary domination on targets and it screws up our targeting pretty badly. So the burn damage and combusting wounds would be great. Plus 5 burn damage over time when hit for 20 seconds, and we're basically focusing on a target. That's a lot of extra fire damage. In an ice environment like this, that could be a very, very useful thing. So I'm gonna take it. What are we using? Do we have a wand focus? Not sure what focus do we have. Scepters or wands or something like that. We don't have a weapon focus. Okay. Hmm. Or are they somewhere else? Doesn't seem to have a weapon focus either. That's usually I give a weapon focus to everyone. Hmm. Well, it shouldn't matter which item we're gonna use then. Scepter, two-handed. Crushing, slashing, plus 20% raw damage. That's basically it. It's very accurate, so it's not a bad thing, but we're not killing anything with this either. If we the combusting wounds would probably help in the killing process a bit more. Speed fast. Speed fast. It's not like I'm gonna throw this away or anything. Spell chance, combusting wounds. How big of a chance is it? 10% chance? That's shit though. Yeah, that's a bit too little. Right. Ogre caves or return to the city. Either way, I'll probably end it here. The ogre caves is something we do have to tackle. I'm still just a little bit cautious because of the warning that the clan here has had nothing to do with that. So just by entering here with basically and killing all their guards as we go along could be a catastrophe. Well, then we'll know if it's a catastrophe. It's not like it's the end of the world. It's one of those things. Do you really care if everything goes perfectly, or do you want to basically make your choices and live with the consequences? Most of the time I'm okay living with the consequences. It sort of bothers me if you basically have sort of a roadmap where you know exactly what options you need to pick to get everything you want, always going your way with no chance of ever failing. So this might be troublesome, but it's still going to be an improvement over the current situation. Because even if we just kill them off, it's going to be a temporary reprieve from the ogre attacks. If things go well, we might be able to come up to a more permanent solution.